Hey guys, what's going on? Coming at you with a Wednesday morning video. I post a daily 9 a.m. video every day. Before I get into this, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Fortunately, we didn't hit 600 subs by the end of this month, so I'm basically just gonna set that bar to September. I know people don't watch as much YouTube and stuff like that in the summer months, but now that school's starting back up, maybe people are maybe looking for more jobs and have more time maybe to watch social media content, YouTube content. So I'm optimistic we'll hit 600 subs by the end of next month. So if you hit that subscribe button, it's much appreciated. And without further ado, we're going to talk about this video today. So today I wanted to talk about Virgin Galactic, ticker is SPCE. I currently have been in this stock for over a year at this point. My cost base is, let me see what it is. Let me just pull it up real quick. I believe it's 20, what is it? It's 21.16. So my cost base is 21.16. I have not bought this stock this year, like 2020. I bought this in I haven't bought it in 2021. I bought this in 2020. Currently the stock, it floats around like $22 to $25. It closed yesterday at 27 and some change. So we'll just do exact. So, it's hovering around the 24 to 25, 26, $27 range. I refuse to average call. I will not buy the stock unless it's averaging cost down. Reason being is it's one of my speculative stocks. This is a decade / multi-decade position for me. So with space tourism and stuff like that, I mean, we're still years away from it being, mainstream and even very wealthy people, I think, going on it. But it's something I just wanted to get into before like the beginning days. Like I was in the stock before they even had a test flight. So like, that's really cool just to even say. So it's kind of one of those things where I just like wanted to get in this stock just because I do believe in it. I do believe there is a market for it and I'm willing to wait. But if the stock goes in anywhere from like the $15 to $18 range, I will gladly buy some more. But unless it does that, I'm not willing to do it. Would I start a position now? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good hype around it, a lot of good news. They successfully had their test launches. Richard Branson went to space and back. So there's a lot of good things going on with the stock. I mean, if you're interested in getting in the space sector, buying at $27 is not a bad time to start. If it goes down, average cost down and, wager how big your position is. Currently, this position is like 2% of my portfolio. So it's a very small position, but it is, like I said, one I want to get in. And if it's, gets insane one day, I just want to, the path should be very good. So yesterday it had a 9.53% rally. So this was my best performing stock yesterday. This is something I might start doing a little bit just because I feel like it's really cool to talk about like big losses or big gains in a day. So space was my biggest gaining stock yesterday. There were some analysts like really hyping it up on CNBC and some other networks where they're saying space tourism is legit. They did polls. There's a lot of wealthy people that are willing to do it and want to do it. Really, a ticket's going to be, I think, low 6 figures to go, but for these people, it's not a problem. It's something they just want to do. So that's really cool. There's a lot of polls and a lot of analysts are really behind space tourism and Virgin Galactic. So that's pushing the stock up right now. They also said it's a current buy. So, I take this stuff with a grain of salt, but it's just nice to have like analysts that do it for a living and stuff like that are backing something you're in. So they said it's a buy up to $35. I personally wouldn't buy it if it's $35. I mean, this stock's been all over the place. It's been as low as like 15 and as high as like 70, I believe, in the past 12 months. So, buying at 35, according to them, is still a good buy. I mean, it depends on how long and what you're doing in the market. I'm a long-term investor if you haven't watched my previous videos. So if that's something, if you're in it for the long haul, yeah, buying at 35 is probably good, still a great deal. But it's all relative, like I said, I don't want to make it more than 2% of my portfolio, and I already have that. But, that's kind of where I stand with it. But so, yeah, if it's at $27, if they're saying 35 and you go off analysts and believe in, what they say, yeah, sure. It's a great buy right now. I do think in the future it will be a $120 billion market, which is massive. Once they drive down costs, make it more readily available, once people go to it, and there's going to be hiccups. You're going to have failures. You're going to have, bad things probably happen at first, and stuff like that. But, in the next decade, I think, or decades, it will be over $120 billion market cap. So the potential of this just being in it now is massive. I think this company can pull in $1.7 billion in revenue. That's kind of my projections by 2023. I know that's really far out, and a lot has to go right and a lot can go wrong, but that's why you wager a small percentage. But you just want to get into something like this because it is definitely a future stock and a future thing that people are going to want to do. Just a fun fact, year over year, the gain is 58.4%. So it does have a nice gain. It destroyed the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So it just like, even from where it was a year ago, they didn't even have test flights out. They were delaying it and all that. And then just with test flights and Richard Branson going to space with like a couple people, in a year, it had a 58% gain. And this is nothing, the potential of the stock is going to be, thousands of percentage gains, like 1,000 plus, easy, depending on how they execute. It could be, ridiculous. So that's all cool. So that's kind of, what why space is running right now, what I think of it. I do love it. As long as the fundamentals don't change, I'm not selling it for anything. I can't see myself selling it. So that's kind of my view on space. Some current news from yesterday. Obviously, the U.S. backed out of Afghanistan. Basically, the war ended. It took 20 years. It took 20 years. So it's the longest war, at least from when I've been alive. So I mean, when this war started, I was in grade school, like middle school or lower school. So it's just crazy. I mean, I don't remember life without being in Afghanistan. So that's, it's could be good, could be bad. I know Biden spoke about it yesterday, and the market really didn't like what he was saying. It went very red in the back at the end of basically by close. I think some of the things he said were a little, the market didn't like it. So I'll leave it there. Another big thing going on, Hurricane Ida. It hit New Orleans. They got smashed. There's flooding. They have no power. A lot of people are without homes. A good amount of the gas and oil supply comes from that region that aren't up and running because they need generators. So it's really just a big mess. I don't know if that's really, it might hurt the gas sector, but I'm not in any of the gas stuff in the oil sector. But it's just something just to keep in mind. Like there was a hurricane that just hit really bad there. It was a Category 4, and it's just unfortunate. So lastly, China came out and said they're basically banning video games. So if you're under the age of 18, they're working with Tencent, and that's basically one of the biggest companies where they're going to have like facial recognition. So that's how they're going to monitor it, not by like the parents, where they can only play on weekends and on holidays. So that's really bad for the gaming sector. And I mean, it just shows you what kind of country China is really. It's just crazy. Like, could you imagine if you live in Canada or the US or UK or somewhere like that, and the government comes out saying, hey, you're only allowed to play video games on weekends. Like, that's just like, I couldn't imagine. Like, I play a lot of video games myself. I could never imagine growing up just hearing that, seeing that. Like, I played a lot with my friends, and all that. So it's just crazy that, like, I think that's why a lot of the Chinese stocks right now, on top of a lot of other things, are going on. It's just, they're just scary to invest in. They really are. You're just uneasy about it. Like, I can't. That's a lot of the reason why I personally don't invest in any of them, because like I can't go to bed at night thinking, okay, like my money's protected. What if they just pull this pull the stock out of the market, or they can do whatever they want. So, and good luck getting your money from them. Like, who are you going to hire to get your money back? If it's not ethical or legit or whatever. So just got to keep that all in mind when you invest in things like that. But it's just crazy what's going on over there too. So there's just a lot of crazy things going on in the world right now. So that's all I got. Till tomorrow, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. That's all I got. Peace.